Woo!
You never tested my mic!
Leon!
Oh,
You didn't test my mic.
I'm
What?
still.
You didn't test my mic. Is
Yes,
it
I
good?
did. I can hear it now. You're
Okay,
fine.
okay, fine.
Yeah, you're fine.
Woo! Then.
I am still hungover from Halloween.
But we're a
Hey,
little-
I'm still hungover from election day. Barack won, baby. I'm in charge of this shit now.
Whatever, man.
Yay
McCain
for
was clearly the better candidate.
Listen, I'm a little
I'm
drunk
just
now, so I'm gonna tell you guys something I shouldn't. But next Friday is when the revolution starts. You might want to get out of town.
I was
Yeah,
about to
because-
say, have you gotten your check yet?
I did order my machete, and I'm in,
And they're not going to be showing on TV what's going on with the
no,
revolution.
no, no,
so
no, no,
you
no,
better-
no, no, no. I'm gonna be chopping heads indiscriminately.
Leon, nobody's gonna hurt me. I got soul.
Do we get a pass?
You're super bad. That's true.
Really? How come I'm not super bad?
Okay. You guys, I will hide in my attic.
All right.
Everybody else is
Awesome.
dead. I'm
in
sorry.
Frank style.
I was going to say.
You are the son of a last planet, Cyrus. It's just that planet happens to be Planet Geek.
In case you were wondering, this is the League of Extremely Ordinary Gentlemen.
Yes, it was.
That's true.
Yes, it was. This is it. That's it. It's over.
And this is number 16.
Number
is it?
16.
Damn it.
I know.
Well,
How'd we
if
do
we
that?
want to get technical,
Okay, it's number 15.
this is 15.5.
We're pretty funny motherfuckers. We should actually record this and do it as a podcast instead of talking to microphones. It don't fucking work.
Let's see this. Thus the Leon going. Are you sure this is working? Are you sure I'm on? We spent about an hour setting up the mics this time,
Yeah,
so
hey, man.
everything is fine.
I thought spent an hour. I mean, man, I hate to revisit that, but goddamn, that was like the best Leog ever.
Yeah.
Yeah, and poor co-host, man. The guy totally just
He bared his little metallic soul.
Amongst other things.
and I got this fucking this Leatherface versus Jason. And hang on.
It was like watching your 7-year-old niece bring out her Barbie collection. It was horrible.
I mean, you think about the co-host. He's basically like if you're at all familiar with the Vision, how he was like, you know, the soul of Wonder Man who was downloaded into an android. Well, the co-host is like the soul of a legal alien who was downloaded into a small spherical robot.
A very nerdy illegally.
Yes. And it was his moment to shine.
It's an illegal alien from Canada.
It was the most human he'd ever been, and it was lost in the machinery. I mean, there's an irony here that you just cannot match.
I know we're going to talk about this forever, but you guys really missed out on a hell of a lot of fun we had for the Halloween episode.
Oh, the Halloween party.
Yeah, that's true.
No, the Halloween episode, but the Halloween party too.
Let's
yeah.
let-
The Halloween
let's not-
episode was amazing, and Jason did a great job narrating the whole thing, and it's so sad that he's lost.
That
Jason
is
was so into it.
Okay, that was
Well,
Grant, by the
let's-
way, who stopped.
Hello.
Who stopped filleting Jason long enough to give him props?
Get back to work, Grant. You and your gay ass hack.
But I mean, this is like Rocktober for us, right? I mean, but with the spill party. Was that in October?
It
that
was.
September?
It was October 18th.
Yes, Halloween
right?
is traditionally in October.
No.
no,
I
the
mean,
spill
we went to
party.
spill party.
No,
Oh, the spill party was
And
definitely in October.
we went from the spill party right
17th.
into you guys having like the most kick-ass Halloween party I've been to in years.
Aw.
So tell us more.
It was
I know.
Go
That's how
on.
cool we are.
They had this place decked out. It was amazing. Every single room had its own different quirk.
We
to
made
it.
a haunted castle in a graveyard. It was awesome.
Because honestly, walking up to the house, there was like smoke and mist coming down the street.
Yeah, you couldn't. I kept telling people who called me, so how do I find it? It's like, trust me, you'll have trouble missing it.
The crosses in the yard and the evil mist.
Yeah.
Honestly, I could have been greeted at the door by Barnabas Collins and Dormammu, and I would not have been at all surprised.
They had Jeffrey Combs chained to a tree. It was awesome.
Honestly, we tried to get Dormammu, but he was just too expensive.
Yeah, well, and you know what?
By the hoary host of Hoggoth.
You know what? Okay, let us serve as an example for all of you geeks who are living a dark, dark life, because I know that we all have at some point, but there were some hot geek girls at this party. Quite a few. Not just the one girl that everybody flocks to, but a lot. So follow your dreams, read your comics, dress up like Captain fucking Kirk.
Start a podcast. Spend several grand on your Halloween decorations. You'll be up to your elbows in hot geek girl tail.
Yeah, by the time you're 35, you just may meet that hot geek girl.
To be
Don't give up
fair,
hope.
unless all that styrofoam in the attic catches fire before next year, we'll already have the base set up for next year's party.
Ooh.
Yeah, blow me. Your girlfriend dressed as Princess Leia.
She did. Slave Princess Leia.
Yeah.
And
Slave
I'm
Leia.
pretty sure, at least on some level, she was the hit of the party. What do you say, Leon?
It was pretty awesome.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Leon, who showed up dressed as
Leia
Lando
wins.
Calrissian.
Only because she called me on my cell phone and asked me to.
That would explain all the times I saw you up with her in the corner going, "You truly do belong with us here in the clouds."
But I say that to a lot of chicks.
He came with that big cigar and noticed several hours after the party started, he still hadn't smoked it yet. I was like, what? You like cigars? You're not
Yeah.
going to smoke that? And he just gave me that look like,
When I showed up,
Nice Bill Clinton costume.
when I showed up, these guys came out of the shadows and beat my ass, and all Leon could say was, "They got here right before you did."
I don't know. Did y'all listen to the Halloween?
I was
No,
pretty
not
drunk when I recorded mine, so I was too embarrassed to listen to it.
Okay.
I listened to it, and it was excellent.
Well, that's what Grant's here this week. Well, thank you, Greg. Let's just get this out of the way. Greg is at a sports game,
He's Greg got front seats to a San Antonio Spurs basketball
which
game.
to me is like you might as well rip my fingernails out. But
I know. Okay, dude. Imagine getting
What a
front row
wuss.
to Emerson, Lake, and Palmer.
no, that's still not doing it. Yeah, front row to
What
Jenna
if Jeff
Jameson at the
Lynne
strip
came
club.
into your
Yeah.
bedroom and started playing love songs? for you
Okay,
and
now
your
that
girlfriend?
I can see. Yes, that's exciting.
Suck it up.
Yes. So
Yeah.
that's what Greg got. I mean, he called me first.
He's
He
off
says,
doing
Would you
normal
explain
people
these
things."
guys like what a great thing I've just had happen to me? And
No,
not to get mad at me.
It's hard for us to conceive of why anyone would be excited about that and not want to just start spontaneously vomiting. But I
Actually,
guess
I hate to say this, but hey, I'd be there too.
Yeah, I got to say, I I don't even like basketball, but if somebody got me those tickets, I'd be there right now.
I'd be like, "Yeah, fuck it. Who wants these?"
I'd be on Craigslist.
I'd rather play Double Dribble on the Nintendo or something.
yeah, no, or Blades of Steel.
Wow. Jason, do you think they said something sad about society or about you?
About me, I don't care. Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah, screw society.
Yeah, fuck
Oh,
society.
I'm
I
hiding
blame
my
it all on
jock
them.
strap and the liquid heat from you, my friend.
But to bring it back around, I wanted to say that's why Grant is here on the mic with us full time this Leog.
I'm here to play bass.
I was about to say, can you play any musical instruments?
Yeah, do a little Bobby McFerrin for us.
Yeah. Here we go.
That's right. Okay, what you guys have to realize is like Grant is so young, he has no idea who Bobby McFerrin is.
Don't worry. Be
I know,
geeky.
yeah.
Don't
I mean, I
worry.
knew
Be geeky now.
No, that's the
night
opening
chord.
to night chord.
Yeah, I was going to say.
What a night chord.
That's night chord.
Try.
It's like, what? He's going to do the
Bobby
Seinfeld
McFerrin
thing
from
next.
the Beach Boys, right?
He's like Manuel from Faulty Towers. Yes, I can do Bobby McFerrin. How
Fucking old are you guys?
No,
Holy shit.
Mr. Faulty, you say I don't know, but I learned, Mr. Faulty.
But to bring this back to where all this
Right.
long extension of where I was starting from went, at the end of the Leog, it was me and Bo and our friend Whammo from the Asylum Street Spankers in a bedroom telling the filthiest, nastiest jokes that we could think of. And when I was editing it, I'm like, I don't even remember doing this. And there are points where you're like, you hear, hey, give me that bottle. Give me the bottle. I was like, oh. And I realized that's what happened to Leon's bottle of Canadian
Yeah.
Club.
Oh, that's what
Yeah.
happened.
Whammo grabbed
couldn't
it and
even
brought it
tell
into
what
the
all the-
bedroom.
You know, it's funny. It's
They just
like
kinda
this guy
mushed together.
Whammo. I've lived in Austin for 21 years, and I've heard about Whammo for about 18 of those 21 years. I've never met this guy. I can't believe I was at the same party with him. Still didn't meet him. But the one thing I've heard about him consistently, even from our own Grantley Mandingo here, is that the guy's a douche.
I don't know what you're talking about. I love him.
We had, go back and listen to it, we had Courtney Gaines, Malachi from Children of the
Yes.
Corn, who, as I mentioned, would not say Outlanders.
Now, okay.
That guy's got titanium balls. That he's known for that one thing, and he won't do it.
I know. It's like I mentioned to Leon earlier. It's like Don McLean not playing American Pie at a fucking
No. You know what? Don McLean had like 1 or 2 other songs. It's like going to see
Arlo Guthrie.
Is it Night Ranger? And them not singing Sister Christian?
It's Arlo Guthrie not playing Alice's Restaurant for 25 years. Is
Yeah.
what it is. Yeah, it's like, come on, really?
Yeah.
That's your thing.
It's David Essex not doing Rock On.
Exactly. That's it right there.
Fortunately, I didn't ask him to do it because as we were heading in there, and I was totally planning on getting him to say Outlanders. His paramour of the moment, Michelle, was saying he won't do it. He won't do it. He won't say it. And I was like, oh, okay. It's like, really? Then what fucking good are you?
Yeah, right.
Did you even
Get the
ask
fuck
him,
out.
though?
No,
should've
I didn't.
forced it.
I didn't because I was warned
Force
ahead of
him
time.
on the spot.
And when I started to ask him, he was like, "Oh, here it goes."
And you know, man, that is such bullshit. Because, okay, like, when Gary Coleman gets mad when people ask him to say, what you talking about, Willis? I understand. Because that guy, he had a very successful TV career. He's had a hard life. Sure, you know him from that. But you can understand how, like, hey, that's kind of demeaning. He doesn't want to do that anymore. But the Malachi guy?
yeah.
It's not as much a gimmick as it was what you talking about, Willis.
Yeah, that was the next thing that occurred to me. It was like, really? You're not going to say what you're talking about, Willis? Come on. What's the deal?
Yeah.
That's
Dude,
your one
he's
big thing.
No, he's got a lot of bad associations with that, which I completely
Well,
understand.
he does have a long career. If you look on IMDb, he's
he's
done
been
a
in
lot of
hundreds
stuff.
of movies,
Now,
and
can
some
you
of them are
name
good.
another one?
Who,
Colors.
Malachi?
Yes, but would you have known that if you hadn't looked it up?
Yes,
Are
I
you
would.
talking
Really?
about Malachi?
Yeah,
or
in fact, that's
Malachi.
where I
Malachi, yeah. No, yeah. Sorry.
Yes, as a matter of fact, Colors is where I initially recognized him.
Oh, okay.
when I first
Oh,
saw
wow.
And-
No, but if you knew he was the guy from Children of the Corn, you knew, hey, the guy from Children of the
You're
Corn is...
really kind of hedging my perceptions here, aren't you?
No, I hear what you're saying from the way he looks, but if you said, hey, the guy from Children of the Corn, like, great. Oh, was he ever in anything?
He was in Back to the Future. He was in Can't Buy Me Love.
Okay,
It was
okay.
all
He was in
bit
Back
part
to the
stuff.
Future.
Okay,
Where?
he's got a lot of shit that he could come from, and you said like, "Hey, Children of the Corn, could you say this one thing?" Sure, why not? What's it gonna hurt me?
Yeah.
Gary Coleman, his whole life, he's getting say what you talking about, Willis. Say what you talking about, Willis. Say what you talking about, Willis.
Yeah.
yeah. It would
I
drive
don't
him
know.
nuts.
Given how queer horror movie fans are, no offense, Jason.
Yeah, you're all gay. It's true.
No, but
You
just
did
how
ju-
queenie they can be. I can
Queer, no,
definitely understand that he probably gets that a lot.
I mean, he did just say that
And-
Grant was sucking his cock a little while ago, so
I'm just saying.
And I'm just saying.
not
yeah, I know, but
false.
I'm playing devil's advocate here and going, yeah, I can see how that would be annoying to him.
No, you know what? If you're not going to yell Outlanders, it's one fucking word. If you're not going to do that, then what good are you?
If you're not my dancing monkey, then you're a bad monkey.
That's
bad monkey.
That said, he was a really nice guy, and thank you for coming on the podcast.
let me be
No, he's a
clear.
great, cool guy.
As I said about on the podcast and wrote about in the intro to it, the mic died that Jason was using during that, and
Oh
luckily,
yeah, because he's responding to fucking nothing.
well, luckily y'all were sitting there really immediate because it was in my bedroom, so his mic was picking up on Malachi's mic, and I spent 3 hours going through that damn interview, turning your mic up way up in the editing room.
See,
I
man,
thought it
because I
sounded
know how
great.
mad you would have been if that had been lost.
no,
Okay.
it wasn't worth it.
By the way, I thought it sounded
Thank
great, and I thought you did a great job editing it.
Well,
Because
thank you.
I didn't notice like too many issues, and I was like, okay, I can notice there's a problem with the mic, but overall, I thought like I didn't ever have any issues. Like, oh, what'd they say?
Well, thank you.
And you left the
Yeah, it
results
sounded
of
great. It was
And that
fun.
being said, can you work on the balls now because they're really more?
you
sensitive.
left the results. Of
No more comments. No more compliments for you.
you left the results of the gynecological exam in the recording as well.
I did.
Oh my god! So that's where that spectacle
Awesome,
came
by
from.
the
Okay.
way. Learned
right.
so
You know-
much of that.
Other than just talking about like each other being gay and about
You know,
how
you know
much
what?
whiskey we like to drink.
I gotta be honest. Like, I'm not feeling comfortable about the gay jokes anymore.
No, why? They're not jokes. He really was sucking on my
Oh
testicles.
god!
Yeah,
Did I ever once say there was anything wrong with Grant sucking on my nuts? Did I
Should-
ever in any way condescend to him for being a nutsucker?
I've always thought it was playful and it was funny.
I'm heterosexual,
And,
but I am also a schmoozer. and willing to do what it takes to be on the Leog. So
That's
You'd
Hollywood.
like to be on the Leog.
Well,
please send a picture of your lips.
I take-
to
in lieu of
that's the only
Cyrus,
requires.
No, I'm with Leon. I think we should put a moratorium on the gay jab.
honestly,
I mean,
you know what, man? I couldn't be more jazzed about Obama. I know. God was fucked up.
Say that again.
I couldn't be more jazzed about Obama winning, the presidency.
Oh yeah, me either.
I cried during. I was at Nomad and I cried during the speech and I bought everybody
Fag.
shots.
Man, why the fuck? I wasn't at the bar when this happens. What
I
the
can't believe
hell?
you weren't there because I called Corey and he
how
came
were you
down
not there?
and
It was
we hung out together and
beautiful.
we drank and we cried and everything
so you
was
didn't
awesome.
call any of your white friends because Cyrus and I were both up here with our thumbs up.
He did.
You
point
guys
out,
worked there and
he
you didn't
did
show
point
up.
out
Why
that the
were you guys
revolution
not
was going to
there?
happen.
Yeah.
It was an amazing moment.
And then I got
didn't invite
home.
Jason because he was too busy
And
building a cross
I got
to burn.
home and
It
I
was your moment.
I was supremely bummed out to find that Proposition 8.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
I know.
I was too. I wrote a big long diatribe against it in my blog, and it was just like this is screwed. Especially since like the money that funded most of the campaign for Proposition 8 came from outside sources like the Church of Latter-day Saints and the Catholic Church, and it's just like, dudes, you don't live in California. Just stop it.
Someone
Yeah.
made a real interesting point saying, you know what? I'm not for legalized marriage between gays at all. I'm for the getting rid of the concept of marriage altogether out of the law and making
Okay,
them all
that person is
civil
not
unions.
helping.
No, but they're right. What's the difference? Make them all civil unions. There is no difference. Everything, every type of
Listen,
wedding
if
in the laws.
if people want to get married, be they gay, let them do it.
Well, they can already
it's not
do-
hurting anybody.
But they can already do that within the church. If there's a church that says yes, then fine, let them do it. They're married within the eyes of that church. That has nothing to do with the
Okay.
law.
While
I
it's
would go with
sad that the Proposition 8 didn't pass, would you prefer the Proposition 8 passing if Obama didn't win?
Yeah, no trade-off there.
Man,
If you did a trade-off.
did you guys read Secret Invasion X-Men last week? It was fucking awesome.
Gays are the scrolls,
They're in San Francisco.
but they're cool.
Yeah, we talk a lot of shit, but the whole thing with Proposition 8, that is fucked.
It
okay?
is.
It is.
And if you are against gay marriage, just press stop on Winamp or whatever right now, okay?
Hey, if you are against gay marriage, then I fully advise you with a loving heart, do not get gay married.
Yeah.
You'll be okay. But if you stepped into a voting booth this Tuesday and purposefully denied a minority group the same rights that you yourself enjoy,
that you were not a part of.
well, go fuck yourself.
Amen.
Fuck yourself raw.
Wow, I could not put
Amen.
I couldn't put that even any better. I mean, honestly, it doesn't affect you in any way. And if you're going to cling to the Bible on this, I could show you a passage right behind that does affect you that you're clearly ignoring.
Yeah, you can't. I can't make it any more clear. If you're using the Bible as a defense, you're full of shit. Because the Bible is much more against many other things than it is
Yes.
against homosexuality. Stuff you do every day.
I think the Bible has a passage against political slanted leogs as well.
Granted.
Render unto Leog what
let's
is
not
due
say
Leog.
granted.
Render unto Leog what
But-
is due Leog, and let us talk about
I'm
the
just
important things in life. And certainly, the election is important, gay rights are important. But we're talking about comic books.
This is the special episode of Leog. This is the shit. We don't feel like making any special preparation, so it's just
We're
gonna.
so tired after that month of drunken debauchery.
I
Yes,
am now
we are.
cracking open the beer that. Are you drinking this, Bo? Because I brought this Lone Star
yes,
for you.
it's true.
Okay, there you go.
Lone Star, the official beer of Garth Ennis.
Yeah, and Leog, as it would.
Oh
seem.
no, Garth Ennis loves Lone Star. As a matter of
Fuck yeah!
As a matter of fact,
He has
Garth,
no
Garth
taste
Ennis
in beer.
in the Reader's Columns of Preacher, he once talked about like how much he loved Texas, couldn't wait to come back and drink a Lone Star.
I was gonna say you didn't get that from reading Preacher,
Right. But he specifically talked about coming back and drinking Lone Star.
no shit.
And somebody wrote him, he's like, how could you talk about Lone Star? That's a piss beer. And
It's,
Garth
it's
Ennis.
seriously urine.
And
Hey, shut the
no,
fuck
I
up.
like Lone
Urine.
Star. And Garth Ennis' response was, well,
I'm
you
gonna stand by
Yanks go on about Guinness, and to us, that's piss beer.
Hey, now
I
Lone
have
Star-
nothing for Guinness either.
Lone Star
Shiner.
is just an example of
I
a style.
hate to tell you this, but you are drinking a Stella Artois right now, which is regarded universally across Europe and the UK as a piss beer.
God damn
it's
it.
called it's called wife beater beer.
Delicious.
No, that's not
I
necessarily
love Stella
true.
Artois.
I paid so
Stella
much for
Artois
this.
is
It's got to be good.
Excuse me, Live Oak Big Bark, the beer of
Oh,
choice.
I love that.
Live
That's
Oak
what
Big
you guys
Bark.
had a keg of at the Halloween party,
Yes,
and it was
it
so
is.
damn good.
Now, to be
Delicious.
fair, Live
you
Oak.
guys have taste in
Hey,
beer.
are we going to talk
To be
over
fair,
each other all
Lo-
night?
To be fair, Lone Star is an example of a style of beer, an American style lager. There are many. Most of y'all are familiar with Budweiser or Miller. This stuff is shit. It really is shit. There's lots of stuff in there that's not the stuff you're supposed to make beer with. That's put in there just to reduce the quality.
What is?
Budweiser, Miller,
Oh, okay.
yada yada yada. Lone Star is actually an excellent example of this style of beer and has been commented upon many times by beer critics and snobs as such. The problem is that a lot of people don't like it because this style beer in general isn't supposed to have a lot of flavor. It's a very mellow, light, summery type of
It's
thing.
got a picture of the Alamo on it, and you can get it for like $12.99 for a 12-pack.
and that's the key.
Budweiser, Miller, and what's the other one? Coors were all created during World War II as rice-based beers in order to appeal toward women because they were lighter flavor.
Which
You're a
there's
damn
nothing
liar.
wrong with in and of itself.
Don't you say things like that in this
Fact.
house.
Anyway, we probably should get to
And
comics.
I am off of
wow.
Leog.
We probably should get to comics and movies, the raison d'etre.
Half an hour into the fucking rant about
Yeah.
gays and beer.
Gays and beer. And gay beer.
And Grant blowing us. Yeah.
Which,
Anyway.
Yeah.
is nothing to that is nothing to do
The
against
gauntlet I
gays.
run to be on the Leog.
All we're saying is that Grant is good at what he does.
You speak
does.
when spoken to, Grant.
This week, our focus is on the questions we haven't gotten around to before.
That's right.
And I just built a stack of backup stuff, but I want to hear what you guys picked out.
All right. And this is from Inuant, and I chose this question because he asked it before. And he even starts with, I'll just repeat my question from Leog 15, I guess. What are the greatest fears of each Leog member? And I'll say,
Oh, wow. I thought you were the guy who didn't want to answer this question.
you gave that one the high.
No, that was me.
yeah, that was actually Bo. Okay, here's my fear. My greatest fear is that we'll get together and we'll record the greatest Leog ever. We'll have guest stars like the co-host and Corey and Grant, and Greg will be here. And somehow, after recording this fantastic Leog, it won't actually save onto the machine.
That could
It'll
never
be lost.
happen.
No.
There's safeguards.
You don't, I know, but I'm just saying, if Dr. Jonathan Crane's fear gas hit me, that would be my fear.
That's a scary one,
That's
man.
entirely the reason why you picked
I'm
that
right there
question
with you.
for that joke.
I am right there with you.
My greatest fears have been summed up in a couple of horror movies, and the two being the remake of Texas Chainsaw Massacre, which is being trapped in a small town at the mercy
Yes.
of a redneck sheriff.
Yeah.
That would be bad.
And the
pretty
other
damn scary.
is Cloverfield. I mean, and I didn't know it until Cloverfield struck. Where it hit me with like, wow.
Well, you're really afraid of a big monster? coming
Yes,
to
when
eat
I was a
city?
child,
Okay.
that idea
Yeah,
of looking
yeah,
on the
yeah.
horizon and seeing some monster that was so huge that there was no way to get away from that would do that, Cloverfield really got to me in a way that I know this shouldn't affect me the way it does, but it so does.
There are moments the subway shit got
Oh,
me.
yeah. The spider things?
Yeah, that was
Jeez.
really bugging me.
No.
It was intense.
It was bugging you.
Sorry. Honestly, to me, when they were on the bridge
Oh.
and the thing comes up and it's just that feel of like, holy Jesus Christ. I can't even wrap my mind
That
around
was
this.
the whole
It's so
trapped in a
huge.
crowd
I
being
can-
stampeded vibe,
Yes.
you know?
I can actually-
Stampeded. I made up that word. You can use it.
I can actually hear the urine inherent in your voice when you express that.
Yeah.
That was very good.
All right. So who? Anybody else
so
have an
Bo?
answer for this one?
Oh, well, okay. A lot of you guys don't know this, but I'm really afraid of spiders. And
That could be useful. at some
And
point.
one of my biggest nightmares is actually coming to bed and pulling back my covers and finding it filled with spiders that have been put there by some stalker weirdo online asking about what my fears are, which are not, by the way, spiders. Screw you! I'm not telling you my kryptonite. It's not happening.
That was a dumb thing for Superman to do, was to give an interview and go like, "Oh
my
my
greatest
God."
fear. It's kryptonite.
Yeah,
It's
it's kryptonite.
radioactive particles from my
Hopefully,
home
none of
planet.
your readers will like go find this and use it against
You don't have any, I don't know, mad genius scientists that read your print, Miss
Luckily,
Lane.
everyone in the world loves me, and so no one would ever think of using this against
Yeah.
me.
By the way, I love spiders, so spider it up. Find my house and fill it full of arachnids. I don't
Well,
care in the
we'll be
least.
putting that to the test next week. Jason?
Jason.
Jeff Loeb becoming editor-in-chief.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Oh, yeah, you got that. Nailed
No,
it.
that's the one. That wakes me up at night, cold sweat.
No, the whole thing, Quesada and Loeb ruining Marvel Comics
As
like
I've
they were
mentioned,
the Empire, you know.
As I've mentioned before, if Joe Quesada has been asked if someone were editor-in-chief that was not you, who would you choose? And he said Jeff Loeb.
Yes, he did.
And I screamed for like 72 hours straight.
Yeah, because this is like, I think it's an insurance policy. Because everyone yelling, get rid of Quesada, get rid of Quesada. It's like, fuck you, my vice president is Loeb. And they're like,
Yeah,
oh.
exactly. It's like if some guy was like running for president and he got like this
Sarah Palin.
complete.
It's
Just
true.
saying.
It's true.
It's but thankfully a guy like that would probably never get elected. Suck it.
Thank you for enduring the punji sticks. But other than that, sit back, retire, go fishing.
No. You're a fine American, but oh God.
Okay, Mr. Cyrus, the
Oh,
interlocutor.
they're me too? Fuck. Well, my biggest fear, honestly, and it has to do with Jaws, sharks have frightened the shit out of me
No
since
kidding.
day one. I saw that movie when I was a little kid. I have never gotten over it. Ever.
Okay.
Ever. No, I still love I like to be frightened, so I love the movies, or the movie, not the movies, because let's be clear.
Yeah.
Only
Okay.
the first one.
I have a quick anecdote for you.
Yeah.
That will freak you out. I don't know if I ever told you this. A couple of months ago, I spent a week or so in Cancun. We went to Xel-Há or Xcaret, one of the. It's like a Wet and Wild, but with wild animals. It's like a nature preserve.
It's got sharks, so I think it's more on
Yeah.
the wild than the wet.
Yeah, here's the thing.
It's like Wet and Wild, but with more dead people.
There are underground rivers that you can float through called cenotes, where like lights are shining in.
That sounds
It's-
great.
It's amazing. It's amazing. And so I climbed
Must be
out.
nice to be rich. What are you even doing here?
Yeah, no, it wasn't that expensive, but I climbed out.
There were two hookers wearing domino masks, and they were feeding me grapes soaked in heroin while I was going through the tunnel. It was awesome.
So we climbed out, and there was like, and it's like jungle right there by the partition of the little walkway, and see this boa constrictor eating an iguana. Like,
Jesus.
and I reached out and
Wow.
I poked the boa constrictor.
Only a white guy would do something like that. and you guys got to agree with me.
I am so white I glow in the dark. But yeah, I'd be like, "Bae, you enjoy that iguana boa constrictor? I'll be in here with both hands inside the boat."
I'm
I
fickle.
poked
I
that
like to
thing.
go to a buffet, so
Yeah, I
That
poked
is
that boa
amazing.
constrictor. Boa constrictors do not like being poked while they're eating.
You don't say.
My God, Jason, you're the only person on the planet that's seen all 4 Anaconda movies. What the fuck is wrong with you?
I'm so glad you said that because I was going to sign up for a tour where all you did was poke boa constrictors.
It's awesome. I highly recommend it.
you can poke Bo.
We went to the sea turtle. Speaking to Cyrus's fears, we went to the little sea turtle exhibit, which in Mexico they don't have guardrails and shit like that.
No, they don't.
They've got these little cliffs where anyone can fall in with the sea turtles. Yeah, and so we're sitting there watching the sea turtles frolic and play, and they're so cute in this little lagoon. And then there's a shadow that's not a sea turtle. That's oh my God, that's a fucking shark. And we could have easily, anyone, there were kids all around. We could have easily fallen in. And you see this shark, this silhouette, and you're like, this shadow going through the water, and you're like, okay, that is nothing other than a fucking shark. It was like 9 feet
Yeah,
long.
fuck that. Fuck that.
It was
Why
awesome.
haven't we
And the
killed
shark
them all?
looked up and he went, "How you doing?"
And I'm taking pictures of it. I'm trying to explain it to people that don't speak English. I'm like, look, Shark. Look, that is a shark.
I love how
Mira, Sharky.
right now all you guys are saying like, no, I wouldn't do that. Fuck that. But I've seen commercials. Bunch of white guys, you guys start drinking Mountain Dew, and you will do anything.
Oh, it's true. You got a point. Even me with my fears, to be like, you know what would be cool?
Dude, we can totally ride that like a surfboard.
Here, dude, hold my beer while I do this. It's true. We would do that.
Yeah.
But, I don't understand. I mean, environmentalists, go fuck yourself. There's lots of species we've killed by accident. Let's kill one on purpose.
Hey, man.
And the world goes on.
When I hear about somebody getting attacked by a shark, I'll be like, man, that sucks. You were sitting in your living room watching TV and a shark just walked in the door and attacked you. Oh, no, wait a minute. You were in the ocean? You were in his living room when he attacked you? I'm kind of on the shark side at this point.
What? It's like potentially. What if the person who had been attacked was Aquaman?
Oh, come on, sharks are the Native Americans.
I'm just
of the sea.
saying.
It's time
I'm
to
just
push
saying.
them off to a small
Here's the thing.
coral-covered
Here's the thing.
cove
Aquaman
somewhere.
communicates
Steve
with the fish
Irwin.
and tells them what to do. But if he says shark, back off, and the shark says,
What if
fuck
the shark
you,
said, fuck you, I'm
it's
hungry.
time for Aquaman to go like, all right, dude, it's cool.
It's like, okay, Steve
I'm sorry you want to be a
Irwin's
dick
gotta
about it, but I'm going to
regulate.
leave.
Steve Irwin was killed by like a manta ray tail through the heart. Did
Yeah,
you
which
think,
shouldn't scare me at all.
Did you think the story was going to end any other fucking way? Honestly,
But is anyone? It's funny because you're like, really? They can even do that? And I'd see a manta ray. I go, oh, look, it's a manta ray.
Well,
It
I
doesn't
hate
bother
to
me.
say it, but when Steve Irwin died, like the first thing that went through my mind was a quote from Yellowbeard, which was Madeline Kahn going, "Well, it's the way he would have wanted to die, horribly."
Well, Grant, you're sitting here covering your mouth as if you were trying to keep yourself from saying something offensive.
No, I'm pulling an Andy Cap and hiccuping from all this beer, actually.
Well, your hat fits.
That would
the-
explain
the-
that like that would explain the
hat on.
swirl of like legs and arms that was right outside of my house when I walked up here.
Well, did you have a greatest fear that you would like to share with us so we may
Not to
exploit
put a
it?
bummer on the whole situation, but
Your mom dying.
there's this episode of Twilight Zone, I believe, where the guy is the last man on Earth, and he's the one with
Burgess Meredith.
Yeah, Burgess Meredith.
exactly, and he ends up breaking his glasses so he can't read because that's all he wants to do.
Oh,
Right.
yeah.
Yeah.
Boredom.
That's not my fear. My fear is
My
being the
fear is
last man on
being the
Earth.
glasses.
My fear is actually just the idea of loneliness, but that episode just really solidifies it as far as being the last. I need a hug. Thank you.
Yeah, no, it's been the last man on Earth, and every porno magazine has been burnt to a crisp.
Yeah. Or, or same difference, the internet stops working.
Yes, I mean, I was like, what will I do?
It might as well be the same thing. You're like, the internet is down.
It's not the internet.
Or I could
It's
just
a
be a
sex
regular
box.
man on Earth and lose my penis. That would be the same fear.
See, it's funny because somebody said like, okay, would you take $1 million if like something cut your penis off and you had to win it by that? And I'm like, dude, if I had $1 million, most of the shit I want to do with that $1 million involves my penis, so I cannot sacrifice it.
But with that $1 million, you could buy a super penis.
And the guy goes to me, he goes, hey man, I'll give you $1 million, but I'm going to make you cut off your penis. Like, all right, great. Well, you give me the $1 million first. Okay. I go to the guy next to me, go, hey man, I'll give you $500,000 if you kill this guy.
I am going to go to Sen asked a question this time around. Are there any other obscure characters that Jack Kirby created that didn't catch on at first but were reinvented and reintroduced into the continuity, whether in Marvel or DC, like OMAC, One Man Army Corps? And I just want to go with, like, as far as now, when Jack Kirby came to DC, when he left Marvel, he basically, it was really weird because they were like, hey, Jack Kirby, you're at DC finally. This is amazing. You can do whatever the hell you want to. Carte blanche. Let's have fun. And he was like, I want to write for Jimmy Olsen, Superman's pal.
I know, right?
And they were like,
huh? Watch out.
But he kind of used that as license to change, to write this whole new continuity, which had Dark Side and the New Gods and
Yeah.
stuff that anybody who watches like the DC animated universe is well familiar with. But one of my as far as taking a character that he invented and reinserting into the continuity, I think the best job that has been done is one of the things that he did was he relaunched the Sandman. The original Sandman
true.
character
Oh, yeah, that's
was,
right.
he was a guy he was dressed in like a three-piece business suit with a hat. He wore a gas mask and he had like a little gas gun and he went and fought crime. Well, Kirby reinvented him to be like this guy who lived in the dreams of this little kid who lived in a lighthouse with his friendly grandfather. And he had these two companions called Brute and Glob, and he lived in the Dream Dome, and he had a dream gun that shot
I didn't realize
cartridges
that
out of
was Kirby. I thought the Gaiman had come up
Yeah.
with
No,
all
no.
No,
Gaiman
not
did
at all.
not come up with that. And so if you read the Sandman continuity, the second trade paperback of Sandman, which is The Doll's House, they reintroduced this character.
Yes.
And the original person who was that Sandman died, and then the DC Universe brought Hector Hall, who was the original Hawkman's son, and was a member of...
He was a different character when he was a different hero
He
when
was in
first started.
Infinity Incorporated, and he
Right.
was the Silver Scarab.
Yes, that's
Yeah,
that's
and then he went on to become the Sandman, and it was just like it's the seamless reintroduction of this character into the Sandman mythos. And they take his character, the character who is his wife, Hippolyta, who was the Fury in Infinity Incorporated.
Right.
And like her son, who Hector Hall impregnated her with, ends up being the next incarnation of Dream. I mean, it's just this series-wide spanning reinsertion, and it's just like it just shows you how great Gaiman is about taking something that was there in the DC universe and just going hog wild with it and inserting it beautifully.
I literally had no idea that
Yeah.
Kirby had come up with
there's so
Do you-
much-
Do you
there-
have those issues?
I do. I don't have any of the old Sandman stuff, but I have read it.
Oh,
Yeah.
I would. Have they reprinted any of that? or-
I don't think they have, and it was very Kirby-esque DC. The DC Kirby. There was a lot of cartoony elements to a lot of the stuff that he did.
Was the book actually called The Sandman?
Yeah, it was, and it was done. I don't think he had his own line. I think he was in one of those like DC showcases or things along those.
Was this? It's just shocking to me that no one has reissued it with the incredible success of Gaiman's The Sandman.
Well, nobody's really touched any of like the old Infinity Incorporated, which was the idea of taking the sons and daughters of the old Earth 2 Justice Society characters and making them into their own supergroup.
Sure.
And you got like Jade and Obsidian, Nucleus, Silver Scarab, like all these. And
Right,
Infinity
right.
Incorporated was
And-
it was a great little series. That
And for anybody who I don't know, I don't want to say anything that everybody already knows.
No.
But this was Todd McFarlane drawing this book
Yes,
Oh,
pre-Spawn.
that's right. One of his early.
Yeah, and
Early,
this is actually Todd McFarlane when I really liked his work because it was like he was like a new guy who was unsure about his work, but he did like some fantastic design on every page of Infinity Incorporated.
like so many great artists or talents before they get everyone going, wow, you're great.
Before
they
he
are
became
great.
a blowhard asshole.
I mean, no. Even
No.
way before he started drawing for Marvel and started aping Michael Golden, in which he really looked like he was aping Art Adams. But before he had adopted that style, he had this style that was all about design on every page. It was like he's like, hey, I might not be the greatest artist, the greatest draftsman, but I'm gonna put so much design work into every page.
his cell work from page to page is
Yeah,
really awesome.
it was amazing. I was
mean,
buying those books just because, like, wow,
Yeah,
this guy's really working his heart out on each one. of
The
these.
only people that have done anything more radical that I can think of right off the bat is like Dave Seven Gerhard in
Right.
Cerebus.
Right.
which
You're
did these
absolutely right.
Really incredible cell progressions where like you would literally have to take the comic book and rotate it 360 degrees.
Oh, yeah.
as
And
you were
something
reading it.
I was also going to bring up that Bo mentioned about Jack Kirby coming to DC. DC was big about we were able to lure Jack Kirby away from Marvel.
the biggest Marvel artist.
Yeah, to draw books for us. And Jack Kirby's choice was, Superman and Jimmy Olsen.
Yeah, or Jimmy Olsen specifically.
Right. But the thing was, DC gets his pages back on Jimmy Olsen, and they didn't like him.
No.
So they had Neil Adams go in and redraw all the faces on Superman.
Man, in retrospect, you're like, really, guys? Really?
Oh, I know.
This is from Brendan B. This is one that I particularly like and means a lot to me. I know so much about pop culture. Movies, music, and comics are my life. The problem is I have no friends I can talk about these with. I just found out today my best friend never saw Back to the Future. Yeah, I have friends, but sometimes I just feel so lonely, frowny face. But the first part of the question is, I would love to hear the story of how the four of you guys met one day.
Oh.
It must have been fate.
That's an interesting question.
It is an interesting question.
In fact, that wasn't from this Leog.
No, it's from the last one.
That was from Leog 15
I
questions?
culled questions from 15 and 16.
Yeah, our challenge was this time to grab them from wherever, from any previous ones, which we did.
Right.
And that is a good question. I guess we kind of have to start with...
Corey and I have known each other about 15 or 16 years. Mm-hmm. And we both started as cartoonists, where I was freelancing for Marvel and DC and several other comic book companies, and Corey was working as a cartoonist for the Daily Texan. And him and Robert Rodriguez were working side by side on different cartoons. But there was like a huge cartoonist community here in town, in Austin. And Corey and I, being the two black guys, we naturally gravitated towards each other and became really good friends. And when he started the show, The Real Deal, he, after a year, would have me on every so often, just like, hey, I can't review this movie. Can you go? It was just him and the co-host doing it at that time. And so outside the two of them, I got brought on first as a regular. That got going. We had a fourth guy. And then next comes Cyrus, who was working as a bartender at the bar we used to hang out with after every show.
I'll take it from at this point.
You go for it.
I was working at a bar called Waterloo Brewing Company, a really nice, Texas's first brew pub, where these guys used to come and hang out after their Access show and drink beer. And there was a joke that I can't remember who said it. I think it was our friend Johnny Neal said, "Hey man, the bartender knows more about movies than you guys do. Y'all are like," when people were like, "What's the name of that movie?" He's like, "I don't know. Go ask Cyrus."
Yeah.
And come up and ask me, and we all got to be pretty close friends. And there was a point where one of the members who was on their show, Brian, the boy,
yeah, right,
as he was known,
who's now working as a lobbyist in D.C.
Yeah, was leaving to go to D.C.
Oh, the guy that looks like Harry Potter.
The guy who looks like Harry Potter, yes. He was leaving to go to D.C., and that was going to be it. That was going to be the end of the show. And I heard him
it was going to be the end of the show. We had a cast member leave.
Well,
it was
Corey
like,
was saying it was going to be the end of the show.
No,
you remember we went to Ocean's 13?
I know what he said. It wasn't going to be the end of the show.
You didn't believe it.
Yes.
Okay. From my viewpoint, it was the end of the show because that's what I was hearing Corey say to me. It's it. It's going to be the end. We're going to end the show because without him, it's just not the same.
Oh, when he said that one time?
Yeah, exactly. Little did I know.
As he said 18 times since then.
Yeah, little did I know that it's almost like a chapter break for Corey to say that. But it's his bookmark between stages of the same project.
Right.
But anyway, so I go, I like, well, you know what, guys? I'll quit my shift and come do the show with you. I want to do the show with you.
Which you did.
I did. I was not full shit. I quit my shift, much to the chagrin of my fellow bartender, Jeff, who I can't remember who he had to work with after that, but he was not pleased.
Oh, well.
But we did the show from there. The show kept going for a while onto another bar that I worked at after that, who I don't want to mention because I don't want to give them any press of any kind.
None whatsoever. Now, somewhere during the course of this, Corey made friends with a magician.
Yes, he did.
A magician an escape artist named the incredible Brian Brushwood.
And he is incredible.
Yes, who I've mentioned several times in my blogs.
Yes. And what's the name actually of his show now?
Brian Brushwood's Bizarre Magic.
Oh, you're talking about the show on Revision 3?
Yeah, he has a show on Revision 3.
Scam School.
Oh, Scam School.
Scam School.
Yes,
Okay.
and everybody should look up Scam School because there's a lot of great stuff on there.
Yeah, it's how to pull tricks that you.
If you
can
watch
do.
closely, you can actually see me in one of the episodes.
Yes, that brings us to the best friend of said magician was Jason,
who I met before said magician.
Did you really?
I met Jason first. Yeah.
Oh.
No. I mean, Brian, I was like, who's the weird guy with the spiky hair? But Jason's the guy who actually came up and started talking to me.
Yeah. See, I knew Jason a year before I actually knew Jason's name.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, no, that I hung out at Waterloo quite a bit. I was very much a sycophant hanger on, and it was before Cyrus ever joined the show. Back in the day, I remember Cyrus as a yeah, and now Leon feels bad. No, it was before Cyrus joined the show. I remember Cyrus was the bartender of choice.
Yeah, I think I met you at the bar first.
At Waterloo, yeah, way back in the day. And I just kind of would hang out and talk, and I loved it, and was talking about the same shit we're talking about right now.
You were the renegade of those days.
I was. Oh, God. I'm going to go kill myself now. No. I only drove from North Austin.
It was cool.
I didn't come in from Seattle, so my dedication wasn't quite what Renegades was. But yeah, no, it's I was never on The Real Deal or anything. Well, I think I might have been once.
No, you were on it once, I remember.
Was
I just
I?
don't remember what you did. I think you were
yeah.
kind of embarrassed to be there. And you kind of...
I don't even remember. Yeah, it was.
It's on camera is a little different than on microphone, to be fair.
Yeah, well, Corey dragged me up. I don't remember what it was, and I felt like I was kind of like horning in on your thing. So yeah, I felt bad about it. But anyway, it's just I started hanging out with those guys, and after a couple of years, Leon and Corey started recognizing me.
I know. It does take them a little while.
Yeah. No, I remember. I was like, these guys are awesome. They don't know who I am at all.
So there's enough white dudes in public access show business already. Right. Another one.
Yeah. But Cyrus and I hung out a little bit and, watch movies and so forth. And then, and then once The Real Deal met its demise for real this time, after many false starts or false ends. And then, of course, many of you were already witness to the first time where I was brought into the fold. And we were hanging out at this other bar that shall remain nameless, which is where I met Bo.
Yes, and me as well.
So, yeah, myself.
Yes, although we must go back into history because around the time all this shit was happening, I was working at a little bar called the Electric Lounge in Austin, which was like this very legendary music.
All
music
hail
bar.
the Electric Lounge.
Now, I want to
Moment
find
of
out who
silence.
has that sign that hung behind the stage.
That would be Mike Henry, who was the owner, and
I would love to buy that.
Still owns that, and good luck, you'll never do it. Around this time, unbeknownst to me, my path was being crossed by Cyrus, who was actually managing a band at the time that played numerous gigs at the
Milk
Electric
Trout.
Lounge. Yes. And also, unbeknownst to me, Jason, who was coming there to see a band called the Asylum Street Spankers, who the aforementioned Mr. Brian Brushwood did a magic act in between their sets. Oh, how funny. That's how I met Brian, for that matter, who's also a friend of mine. Anyway, the Electric Lounge eventually closed, and I was working at another bar, and I ran into Corey at one point, who I recognized by he did a comic strip in Austin called Eddie the Albino Squirrel, which showed up in the back of a local entertainment paper that was coming out at the time called Excellent. And I kind of recognized him, and we started into a conversation. Anyway, fast forward a little, I was hanging out at the aforementioned bar that Cyrus and Jason both talked about, that we will not
The
name.
F word not mentioned.
And I ended up, Corey happened to be there during one night, and we started getting into a conversation, and Cyrus was sitting bar. So that conversation kind of segued into a 3-point, and then Corey left, and it was basically Cyrus and I talking. Later on, I was unemployed, out of a job, and Cyrus helped me get a job at that bar.
Sorry about that.
Yes, well, it was a good 3-year run. I made some money, and
I was going to say, you were working as a waitress at a cocktail bar.
I was working as a waitress at a cocktail bar.
But you weren't even doing that.
Yes.
The waitress at a cocktail bar.
Darling Nikki.
I thought he was Quentin Tarantino. It was 6 months before anyone pointed out to me that he wasn't. And then I was like, "Oh, are you serious?"
Yeah.
Fuck.
One horrible realization, and 3 years
Every
later,
time you get to bust one of his tables, you're like,
Yeah.
dude, Reservoir Dogs was shit. I just want you to know that.
I was like, "Yeah, you're right. Why are you talking to me?"
Pulp Fiction is one of my favorite movies. I just had to say that.
You guys really need cartoons of these guys.
okay.
Okay, Jackie Brown, not so much, but I did still like it.
Yeah, it was still good. Yeah.
That makes sense.
So you're confusing me. I'm thinking he's Quentin Tarantino again. God damn it.
Through that, that's how I met Leon, and that's how I met Jason. And when Cyrus and Leon went on to form a little podcast, they asked me to come about, and since we were looking for an excuse
Yes.
to get this information out there, they were like, well, what should we call it? And I was just like, and I jokingly said, how about the League of Extremely Ordinary Gentlemen? And they were like,
We said, that's it.
sold.
Sure,
That's
that'll
the
do.
thing. No.
Which
there's
shows
so
you
many-
how much Leon and Cyrus don't like to think.
There's so many things that have come together. Like I just found out recently. Okay, that song. There's something happening here.
Right.
Okay, that song is called "For What It's Worth,"
Exactly.
and yeah, right. And Stephen Stills wrote that and like showed it to the rest. Played for the rest of Buffalo Springfield, saying like, "For what it's worth, here's a song I wrote."
Right.
And they're like, "Wow, that's a great song. For what it's worth, huh?" Well, I was to say that was the title, and they were like, "No, it's a great title for it. It's the name of that song.
A
For what
lot
it's
of things
worth."
happen happy accidents, as they
Yeah.
say. And that's, one of those things you weren't even thinking seriously, like, this is what they'll pick.
Oh, and then the Watcher appeared and told us we should do
Yeah.
a podcast.
Yeah, it's that whole like, oh, you guys should give him an edgy name like Poochie or something.
To be fair,
and we went like, is everybody okay with Poochie?
To be
yeah,
fair,
sure.
this thing kind of evolved into a group of some of the best friends here in town, like who even if we weren't doing this on a site, I think we'd do it anyway. We'd probably get together every Friday just to hang out and talk about comics anyway.
As far as the aforementioned bar is concerned, and the aftermath of the Real Deals. Oh, and I didn't even mention that I myself appeared on a Real Deal once.
Did you really?
Yes,
he
I did.
Yes, he did.
And it was the funniest Real Deal ever. But as
Nominated for an Emmy.
far as the aforementioned Real Deal, we would meet at the aforementioned bar, and we would have one of our aforementioned conversations, which are basically pretty much the same thing we're doing.
Yeah, that's
right
the
now.
thing is that I've mentioned this before, but the Leogs are pretty much the bar conversations that all of us would have, except this time we're recording. You guys get 2 hours of this every 2 weeks, but really, every time we get together, it's a Leog. Yeah.
True. That means there are Leogs happening that just don't get recorded.
Yeah, all
It
the time.
sounded true.
Abraham Lincoln popped out of his grave and took an AK-47 out from under his hat. Blew Batman away with a rat-a-tat-tat, but he ran out of bullets and he ran away because Optimus Prime came to save the day. This is the ultimate showdown, ultimate destiny.
Back to Chocolate Bear, Leon.
Ghost Rider, she writes to me a lot.
Oh, now, which Leog is this question from? Which Leog question?
Wait, Ghost Rider or Ghost?
Ghost Writer.
Ghost Rider.
With a hard T.
She's my internet mom.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, she's.
Yeah.
By the way,
TV show.
Ghost Rider, I'm saying right here now, you're a classy lady.
Yeah, she's awesome. We correspond quite a bit.
She is my internet mom. I call her internet mom.
Yeah,
She
she's
calls me
awesome.
internet
Yeah,
son.
absolutely.
That's it.
I was just like, wait a minute. You're listening to us?
Right.
Okay.
She uses Danny Phantom as her icon.
Yes, she does.
Okay. From Ghost Rider. I recently went to purchase a couple of graphic novels and flipped through a few single-issue comics. First thing that hit me was the sticker shock. $3 for a comic book?
Yeah. A little
Guess
pricey.
inflation has hit comics too. But what really floored me were the advertisements on practically every other page. When did this start happening? Personally, I find it annoying when you're reading and the next page is an ad. I understand they need to make extra money to keep these books going. I guess it's either that or raise the rates. Sorry, this isn't a forward question, but it's something that really bugged me. Your thoughts on this?
Could I just say one word?
Okay, one word.
Yes.
Paper.
Yes. You know what? If there was one word to say, that would be it.
Yeah. Because comics used to be printed on the shitty stuff that was ground out of the worst fucking sawmills
It was
in the world.
newsprint. Yeah.
Yeah.
During the war, they found the cheapest paper they could and printed on that. And that's what comics were printed on.
Yeah, and if you bought comics in the 60s, 70s, or early 80s, and you haven't been keeping them in a plastic bag, go take a whiff of them, and you will smell them deconstructing.
Oh, they're so yellow you can barely read it.
Well, here's what's interesting is that recently it's on Comic Book Resources on Rich Johnston's. I believe it's Rich Johnston's thing. He does. He does a little column every week, and it's about industry gossip and stuff like that. But there's a chart where he I think it was the one from last week where he breaks down the cost of comics versus inflation, and it doesn't add up because a lot of comics now are $3.99 each, and he said it is not in pace with inflation.
Yeah, these
Now-
things don't have nicotine in them, so I'm not really sure how they I feel like they can get away with charging that much.
Yeah, it's but
Yes,
but,
and if as many people smoked as bought comic books, this wouldn't be a big deal.
but
fair
this
enough.
this is it's actually it's rather disturbing because they're the most egregious example of this in recent memory is Warren Ellis's kind of spin-off of his Astonishing X-Men Ghost Boxes, which I am loving. Ellis's
I hadn't heard. Yeah, I don't know about that.
Ellis has taken up the torch from Joss Whedon in writing Astonishing X-Men, and it's awesome. Well, he has a little spin-off from his series called Astonishing X-Men Ghost Boxes. The first issue came out 2 weeks ago, something like that. 16 pages of story.
That's
16.
it?
Yeah.
$3.99.
Wow.
Yeah, I
That's
put it back
outrageous.
on the shelf.
Yeah.
You know, here's my thing. I know I'm probably the only person in this room who feels this way, but fuck separate issues. I wish the whole industry would go to just releasing books at this point. Just, you know what? Put out the graphic novels. I'll pay $25 for fucking the new X-Men graphic novel with no fucking advertisements in it that I'm paying for it. I don't understand why we even have separate issues anymore.
I don't.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know that I can go with you on that.
I see where you're coming from, but
It's-
keep it accessible, keep it cheap, keep it in everyone's
I mean,
hands.
Cheap,
it's-
though. It's not cheap anymore.
Well, okay, look at it this way. It's like there are some series that, sure, I could wait until they put them out in a box set on DVD. But there are some TV series where I want to watch them every week. And there is something about the every week, or in the case of comics, every month, where I'm getting that new story that I'm looking forward to. You might say I'm addicted to it, but I want that. I don't want to wait until it's all collected. I want every month to have something to look forward to, and I get that little piece of it.
I love the serial form. I
See,
absolutely
I knew I'd be
do.
the only guy who
can't
feel that.
abolish
way.
the weekly
No, you know,
cereal.
I buy a lot of stuff in trade paperback form. I buy most of my stuff in trade paperback, but I love the serial form. I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
$3.99 is a lot to pay.
Yeah, fuck it. I can go to the comic book shop and read it, and then when it does come out in trade paperback form,
$3.99 is a lot to pay for a comic book. It's like what, 24 pages of stuff. That's a lot of money for some people because most people don't want one comic per week. I mean, $4, you know. I think I really do think it's gotten out of hand. I mean, I spend probably $20 to $30 a week on comics. Not a lot, but still, I do find myself saying,
is a
"Okay,
lot.
I've got to put this back."
comic books
You
now are
people will
printed.
still pay for it because people love the escapism.
Comic books now are printed on better quality paper than most novels. In the 60s and 70s, back when they were using shitty quality paper, paper was cheap.
Yeah.
Paper was easy. Hey, it's just mulch trees. Big fucking deal.
if you-
they're not cutting down trees like they used to anymore.
If you want people to new audiences to read your comics, making the stories accessible is only the first step. You have to make the price accessible too. And I am all about that. Seriously, this is one of the things that I evangelize. Get your friends, get anyone to read comics because there's something there for everybody. And I really want the industry to thrive and to stay alive.
Yeah, think about your friends and think about that comic that you think they might really like, and loan them that graphic novel you've got.
The thing I find about like accessing new comics though is that like every time I look at new comics that I think I might be interested in, I always find it's like issue 4, issue 5. And then I'm like, okay, I want one that starts at 1 so I can just start from the beginning.
Yeah.
And either that or find another comic that says new storyline.
No.
Well,
so
you
many
make
don't do that.
You make a great
anymore.
point because I heard a lot about Kick-Ass, but I was like, well, it's on
Yeah.
issue 3 already. I'm too late.
Yeah,
and then
and
they
it's
reissued,
still on issue 3.
But then they reissued
No, it's
issues
4.
1, 2, and 3 all together.
Yeah.
So with
Exactly.
that, I was able to like get immediately caught up, and I'm like, okay, now I'm totally on board.
Yeah,
for
that's
this
the whole
comic.
thing. The separate issue industry has started realizing that, the whole collector angle is kind of over in a lot of ways.
Sure,
People
yeah.
just have kind of...
Yeah, absolutely.
in general, comic fans have
Not even
acknowledged
kinda.
that it's... except for you might get real lucky with something, but generally speaking, you probably won't, and nobody's planning on it anymore. So reissues are fine.
I will say one thing though, as far as like comics from the 50s, 60s, and 70s is that they were designed to stand alone. Now, every now and then you'd have an issue that it would end on a cliffhanger and it would be resolved in the next issue, and they would generally have, at least to some extent, long arcs. But all the comic books could stand alone. Like any of the Spider-Mans from 1 to 100. Yeah. You could pick up at any point and go like, oh, wow, this is great. I'm satisfied. This is a cool little story-going experience.
Generally speaking.
Speaking.
There were little
and,
arcs.
and even like the long-running TV series that I'm a big fan of, like, you know, Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Cyrus.
I would like to point out right now that Bo brought up Buffy.
I did. And I would like to point out right now that Cyrus is writhing and making a face that looks something like you make when you're having an orgasm. Anyway, even though there's always a season-wide arc, there are plenty of episodes that stand alone on their own, that you can bring any of your friends in, and even if they're not familiar with the characters, they can gain at least some appreciation from. Now, they'll appreciate it more if they've been watching it, but they can appreciate it on a standalone basis. And some of that has gone out of comics.
I don't think that's a bad thing, per se. There should be both.
I think there should be both, and that's what I'm saying, is that Buffy does that very well, and I think that should be a standard that comics should. There should be an editorial standard that's like, look, guys, you know, I appreciate your long story arcs, and we want to work on those, but you've got to make each one of these issues stand out alone as well.
Not to date myself, but I started buying comics just as they were switching over from 20 cent to 25 cents.
Generally speaking, we
Those
should be
bastards.
we should be putting a stake in him, just to be sure.
And I've watched them rise. Yeah. And I remember when they were getting around that 50 cent, when people were saying like, man, when they hit $1, that's it was like when they hit 50 cents, that's ridiculous. I'm not buying it.
I said that about cigarettes.
It's just like gasoline, as a matter of fact. They went from 50 to 55. It's like, God, this is too much. I think there was 60 cents for a little while, but it went from 60 to 75.
65. I remember when they were 65
I remember that jumped to 75 cents.
I started at the 75-cent mark.
Yeah, but
I did.
But it's just like gasoline, and just like cigarettes, where it's like, yeah, I don't want to pay this much for them, but I do still love this. And Bo brings up a great point. Is that, yeah, they went from cheap paper to really expensive paper. And the expensive paper thing was sort of like an experiment for a while when the independent market first broke. Mm-hmm. But then when Image Comics came online,
that was the end of
Image Comics said, hey, we're only going to print on expensive paper and use full-on computer coloring and charge this much for our comics. So now they've set the new standard. Yeah. I pay $3. The special issue, I pay $4. And you know what? I don't like the fact that I spend so much money on comics. And if we weren't doing this show, I would probably spend a lot less than I do. Yeah. But I read a lot more comics because of this.
I know. I've started reading a lot more because of the show. What were you going to say, Jason?
I was going to say that, you know what? And this is my whole evangelizing thing. Is I know they're expensive, but guys, if you're reading them, they're not collectible anymore. They're really not. Yeah. Take the comics you've got, give them to friends. Give them out to trick-or-treaters on Halloween, provided that
that's a good idea.
That they're kid-friendly.
Yeah.
Leave them at the bus stop.
We're leave them issues of cross,
like little Jack Chick tracks.
Yeah, leave them in your classroom. Just hand them out, give them out. I mean, and that'll spread the word.
Because you're going to buy the graphic novels anyway, so
Yeah.
And honestly, that $3 to $4 you're paying, that seems like a lot.
It's like a
I don't know what that
meal,
report said about how like maybe the money's going, somebody's pocketing that. But really, with the increase in paper and how much it costs to produce a comic, that's still cheap.
The comic book industry, I mean, no matter what the returns Marvel is making on their movie franchise and all that, DC and Marvel aren't making a lot of money.
Right. No, they're
period.
not.
End of sentence. Yeah. It's not a growth industry. There's nothing coming in to let them do new cool stuff, and that's why they continue to all the stuff that we complain about, like, oh, stop doing the industry-wide crossovers and stop doing this and stop doing that. They're doing it because, dude, we got to get as many readers as we can to buy as many fucking comics as we can.
Yeah, and it wasn't that long ago that Marvel filed for bankruptcy.
True.
You know,
convince hot chicks to read comics.
Convince anyone to read comics, because seriously, there is something for everyone out there right now.
That no matter what,
and
you
not
were
just in
into.
the big two.
Yeah,
Not
no, it's
just in
true.
the big two.
Even the TV shows you're into, there's some damn good stuff. Apparently,
Yeah.
the comic for Chuck is really good. That's being
Yeah.
written
Oh,
right
really?
now, based on the TV.
'Cause I
show
love the
Chuck.
TV show.
It's been getting rave reviews. The comic book.
If you enjoy TV at all,
Yes.
you'll enjoy it. There's a comic book out there for you.
Yeah.
And there are probably about 5, 6, 7, 8.
Or if you're
comics for
really
you.
geeky for a movie in the past that you remember from being 16, there's probably a comic continuation that, if it's being published now, probably isn't that bad.
There is a relatively decent Buckaroo Banzai series going on right now.
I'm not gonna go
It's
there.
okay.
Yeah, I don't know,
It's okay.
man.
It's
I'm the
okay.
world's biggest Buckaroo Banzai fan, and I
Yeah.
fucking hated that.
All right. Strike that from the record. I was doing my best.
But the Breakfast Club series is amazing.
Okay, all right, all right.
Hey, and
As
if you
Cyrus
if
said-
you have a role playing game fan in your social circle,
Make
and
him
he's-
stop.
and he is not reading comic books.
Ow.
And he is not reading comic books. Get him over to Boom to read their expansive line of Warhammer.
Dude, can we go over to Carlisle's house right now and just beat the living shit
all
out of him?
Bo, I'm sure you had another question you wanted to answer.
Wait,
Dude, I was talking
Grant
about,
had something he was trying to
Oh,
say.
I'm sorry, Grant.
Yeah.
Well, I was just gonna say, as Cyrus,
Who the fuck are you?
He's not
And
playing
I'm
an
out.
instrument.
Sorry.
Don't give him
Will,
shit.
will you fight him?
Only give musicians shit. Does he look like he's incredibly popular?
Boom,
no.
ba-doom,
So why are
boom,
you
boom,
resenting
ba-doom,
him?
boom, boom.
Not with that hat.
No, not with that.
Ow. As Cyrus was trying to say, the transition from comics to just having straight up graphic novels, I sort of think in the vein of the Spider-Man Evolve or Die from the Other.
Oh, yeah.
It was just the idea that comics need to advance to that level. I think that trying to I guess appeal to just the single issue comic is
Evolve
an
into
antiquated
storylines?
item, and
Trying
I
to
think
evolve to longer storylines.
Yeah,
Did you really use the other to prove a point?
I
Because
I
like
love
the
the
other.
other.
a
I'm
lot.
sorry.
I
Really?
like the other a lot.
yeah, that's
I
funny.
thought it was gorgeous.
I think
'Cause-
the other, that whole run, that whole line of totemic Spider-Man is one of the reasons I love J. Michael Straczynski's run on Spider-Man so
Yes,
much.
I have to agree.
No, see, the whole thing about opinions is that they're neither wrong or right, and yet somehow you've defied that, and you're
Realize
wrong.
you're
Hey,
the
man.
only guy in the room.
I have yet to read the others because Grant loaned it to me, but there's no way it's as bad as Brand New Day.
no way.
No,
Oh, no.
it's
And which,
not.
that being
Okay,
said,
I'll give you
I
that.
do want to address my one question thing real quick, and it's not a specific question, it's lots of them. Stop asking us about stuff that's happened since Brand New Day.
Oh, yeah.
We're not reading it.
Yeah.
We're not going
I
to
haven't the
read
fucking
it.
foggiest.
We don't have a clue. I don't care who Anti-Venom is. I don't care.
Yeah.
I'm not going to read it. I'm not going to be involved. If I read another comic with these characters in it, I'm going to stop reading that comic.
And I will say I gave it an earnest try for 3 issues. I
too.
do know who Anti-Venom is, and guess what? I don't care. I've
Yeah.
already
Yeah.
flushed it from my memory.
Yeah, we're not reading it.
If it's not Ultimate Spider-Man and Peter Parker is not married to Mary Jane Watson, you can shove it up your ass.
You can
Pretty
fuck
much
off.
the moment JMS stopped writing it is the moment we stopped reading it.
Yes.
Or caring what happened.
Which is not
Do you
to
guys
say
believe, though, that it'll
JMS
come
had
back?
some JMS had some huge missteps.
of course it will.
Well, sure he did.
But
Like Gwen
overall-
Stacy's Norman Osborn children.
Oh,
yeah.
God,
but he was
yeah.
smart
Will it
enough
come
to
back to your
kill it
senses?
with
well, that was the thing. It's
And
like
by
it
the
went
way,
4 or 5
if you-
issues, and then it was killed
Yeah,
off.
they killed it with fire.
And
yeah.
by the way, future comic book writers, will you please leave the corpse of Gwen Stacy unmolested? Just stop it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that poor woman, she fell off a bridge.
Amen.
Leave it
Amen.
alone.
Yeah.
I totally just played up to my interest on this question. So, John Howard
Let's
asked.
see. From Austin, Texas, Bo asks,
Exactly. So, boom.
Is Moon Knight the most kick-ass superhero ever?
How exactly cool are you, and could you expound upon this for a couple of hours? No. John Howard said, what are the group's thoughts? And when I say group, I'm going to substitute that with me.
The monkeys.
On 1990s movie Batman Mask of the Phantasm. It was released in theaters, but it was the same time as either Forever or Batman and Robin. I think it was.
I would just jump in and say
It was
like
1993, so
Mask of the
that was
Phantasm?
forever.
prior to Batman Begins, it was the most definitive origin of Batman I'd seen.
Hell yeah.
I absolutely agree. Yeah, and
That should answer that. Thanks, guys. Next question is Jason. No, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding.
So here's what Cyrus looks like naked. Anyway, no, I have certainly never hidden my love for the Batman animated series under a bushel here. I think it's one of the greatest things since sliced bread. I watch it over and over and over again. It's one of my favorite things. I wish they would make more of them. I think Kevin Conroy is the definitive voice of Batman, etc., etc. As far as Mask of the Phantasm went,
How can you say that? And I'm clearly the definitive voice of the Batman.
I need a voice lozenge. Can somebody get me some Chloraseptic?
Oh, God.
I really liked the movie. I thought it was really clever and fun. It was such a showcase for Mark Hamill's Joker that how could
Yeah.
you not love it? They were really given, I mean, Mark Hamill did such an incredible job as Joker. Even in some ways, I still maintain to this day better than
Don't say it. Don't say it.
All right, I
Don't
won't
you
even
say
say
it.
it.
Don't say
I
it.
won't
Don't
even
be
say
a
it.
fool, man.
In
Mark
certain
Hamill.
nuances, better than
No,
than
don't.
some interpretations
Hammer,
of the character,
no.
like Caesar Romero.
Okay, all right.
Don't start that.
Honestly, the only problem I ever had with Mask of the Phantasm was that the ending theme song was sung by Tia Carrere, which
Really?
had no, it had absolutely no bearing
She
on the
was
rest of the movie.
really
Because
she
my
was
big, I'm sorry, go ahead.
she was really riding those Wayne World coattails.
No, my problem with that movie was what happened to the silver flying balls that spike people in the head and shoot blood out. I was like, come on. That was the best thing about that series.
By the way, if anybody's not getting the reference, they're talking about the horror movie Phantasm. And being horror movie geeks, they're jerking off.
Yes,
right
because
now,
we
openly in the
never,
room.
because Bo never throws out obscure references. That never would happen.
Not about horror movies that no one cares about.
Oh my God! Every time you talk, I feel like I should be hitting the link to Wikipedia button.
Everyone should see Phantasm.
And you should. Yeah, actually, yeah, everybody should see Phantasm. It's a fucking astounding film.
Yeah.
But, that being said, Mask of the Phantasm, I loved it. One of the questions you were asking is why it was such a bomb. And it actually wasn't. It actually recouped everything that it made. It certainly wasn't a hit, but as far as like the multitude of releases that they've done, they more than made their money back.
I remember when they released that movie, and they did not give it the full release like they would a Batman movie.
And that's
Yeah.
the thing. The reason that it was a bomb, so to speak, is because Warner Brothers basically dicked around and they were like, well, I don't know, are people going to go see an animated movie?
They
And,
actually, I remember they told these guys when they were animating the movie, this is going to go direct to video.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it. And at the last minute, they say like, oh, you know what? We think we're going to release it to a theater, which meant they had to like completely reanimate everything to a different aspect ratio. So it had to come that way, and yet it didn't have the support a theatrical release would have.
I remember when it came out, and I didn't see it in the theater. I saw it when it first got released on
I
video.
didn't either, yeah.
And
Oh, I did. Twice.
I haven't seen it in years, and I remember thinking it
Batman
kicked.
Robin?
Hey, Grant, shut the fuck up! I'm talking.
Plus,
Anyway,
if you're going to talk right into the mic, Grant. You got to get up on it.
Sorry, guys, I'm new at this.
no,
That's
put-
okay.
Put your stupid Kangol hat
You
on.
all
Hey,
hate
does he play the bass? No.
No, he
you
doesn't.
don't
he
give,
doesn't
you
get
don't
any
give him
pussy?
shit.
Why are you being mean
you,
to him?
you can instruct him. Wow.
Damn, odd job.
I was going to say, yeah, total odd job with that hat. Took Jason's
I'm
head
not
off
Greg.
of that.
I'm not a bitch. I'll kick your ass.
So, Mask of the Phantasm kicks ass. Grant sucks ass.
No, I saw it in a theater twice when it came
Really?
out because I was just so impressed with it. Because I can't remember which Batman movie it came out. I want to say it was Batman Returns.
Yeah.
Was that same year?
It was 93, so
Yeah.
it was Batman Returns.
Yeah, and I was like, wow, this is the real
Yeah,
Batman.
Mask of the
Way back
Phantasm.
then?
Mask of the Phantasm, way better than
No,
Batman Returns.
Batman,
Yeah.
the Tim Burton Batman came out in 89. Batman Returns came out in 92.
Oh, my
92.
God.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
I know. See, we tease Leon, but we're all
Thank you.
We tease him only
Not
'cause
all
he's
of us.
mildly older.
well.
than
Yeah, I take that back. We're old. Leon's ancient.
Yeah. That's true.
And Grant's still wearing fucking
We're,
diapers.
we're like the old
Fuck
ones
you,
in H.P. Lovecraft, and Leon is like one of the real old ones.
In a timeline, yes, that would be true. We'd be William S. Burroughs,
Yes.
and he would be the Mummy.
We're
Wait a minute.
we're Isaac Asimov and Cthulhu, and he's like Tizithagua.
Okay, I would be insulted, but I have no idea what you just said.
Yeah.
old
If Leon spoke
My
anything,
plan to use obscure white racist references worked. They worked completely.
But yeah, Grant would be the Brendan Fraser mummy.
Oh, he's gonna fight
Young
us all.
and handsome
As
ish.
Jason-
Oh my God, Grant's Nyarlathotep.
As Jason would say, I will fight you.
I will fucking fight you.
Okay, so Jason, your experience with Mask of the Phantasm?
you know what? Mask of the Phantasm is one of the better interpretations. It really is an extension of Batman the Animated Series,
Yes.
which is the, you know what? Christian Bale aside, that is the definitive interpretation of Batman, period. And Mask of the Phantasm is one of the best examples of that. So, yeah, if you haven't seen it, you owe it to yourself to go out and watch it. It's a damn good movie.
I dimly remember watching it, but I remember really liking it
Yeah.
a lot. So I don't
Yeah.
really have much to say other than that.
It is, I mean, if you like Batman, you'll like Mask of the Phantasm.
Honestly, it doesn't hold up as well as I
Really?
had hoped it would.
Because I haven't seen it in like 10
However,
years. So.
it's like the first half of it doesn't, but the second half, once Mark Hamill and the Joker, once the Joker comes on, it really does.
Mm-hmm. All right, this one is from RJ. Hey, the Ultimate League Avengers. I have a
Raymond J. Johnson Jr. Now
Yeah.
you can call me Ray, or you can call me Jay, or you can call me RJ.
Oh my God.
Okay, hey, does anybody get that?
Yeah,
yeah. We are
I
all
do because I can remember watching Saturday Night Live when I was 5.
Not like you when you were 18.
I have a comic book question for you. I recently found out that a very close friend of mine is a closeted comic book reader, and after asking him about what comics he read, he answers Spawn.
Oh.
Yeah, I'll give you time to laugh this out, but I'm asking you if you can give me suggestions for my Spawn-loving friend. Thanks, and God bless.
I'm not laughing, RJ. I'm crying.
Stop
Yeah.
listening
Crying
to Korn.
horribly inside.
is my
Yeah.
Okay,
advice.
Exactly. Grow up, wipe that makeup off your face, and kiss a girl.
Clearly, this friend of his is immature, but he wants something that he thinks is hardcore. I'm going to point him towards Garth Ennis' Punisher.
Yeah. Because you know what? Garth Ennis' Punisher has that neat quality of not only being really hardcore, one of those things that like, oh my God, that was so brutal and crazy and fucked up, but it also tricks you into thinking and doing
Yes.
research on
Yeah.
stuff and looking up history
Yeah.
and all sorts of neat stuff. It tricks you into this stuff. It's honestly one of the things I love so much about it.
Punisher
It's that-
Born.
It's that I'm sorry?
Punisher Born.
Well, you got to start off with Welcome, Back, Frank.
Oh,
is
Welcome Back,
the-
Frank,
that is
yeah.
your-
And then
that is the marijuana to the heroin you will be trying later.
right.
It's very true. That's a perfect answer for that. I mean, there's lots of other books that I don't think are all that great, but they're certainly better than Spawn.
Yeah.
That he would like better, like
here-
Witchblade or The Darkness, that type of stuff.
Honestly,
I mean, it's not that great, but
RJ,
it's better than Spawn.
here's the first thing you do. You have your friend burn all of his issues of Spawn, wash his hands, and
Then take a bath and bleach.
take a bath in a bathtub
Take a Drano shot.
in a bathtub full of Watchmen and Preacher and Sandman, and then have an exorcism, and you may be
To
okay.
be fair, I know I might be the noob of your group, but
You are the dwarf in the party that is going to get killed first. It is true.
the HBO
Dwarf
series
golf?
of Spawn when I was a young tyke.
Last
To
year.
really date you guys, I watched it on HBO.
It was
and
okay.
I I was like, oh man, this is so hardcore.
I really
No.
liked that series myself.
I thought it was really awesome.
Spawn at first had some interesting stuff going on with it. I mean, hell, let's not forget, early on, there's an issue written by Alan Moore. There's an issue written by Frank
That's not
Miller.
actually
there's
early
an issue
on.
written by Neil. Yes, it is.
Yeah, no, it
It's
is.
very early
Yeah,
on.
it's in the first
It's
10
like
issues.
Is it really?
Yeah,
it's
that was
really-
back
I
before.
remember when he had like the 4 issues with the guest stars: Alan Moore,
No,
Dave
it's
Sim.
more than that. Dave Sim,
Dave
Neil
Sim, Alan
Gaiman,
Moore, Neil Gaiman,
Right.
yeah.
Alan Moore,
Before he
Frank Miller.
fucked all of them.
Yeah, and they all kept coming back with like one
right.
shots.
Point to be made. If your friend is only reading some early issues of Spawn, no fucking problem. If he's reading what Spawn has become, all right. Well, he needs to do some work.
Yeah, once they
And that's the problem.
introduce.
I will say, and I try not to suggest this to people because it is one of my favorite comics, and I am more than aware of its flaws.
Okay,
but I think that he would really enjoy some of the new run of Moon Knight.
Oh God,
you know.
you scared me! I thought you were going to say Love and Rocket. So I was like,
no,
yes,
no,
that's
God,
the
no,
natural
no, no,
choice. For
no,
the
no,
guy
no.
It's funny because
Spawn.
Bo and I are so like linked in so many ways, and I thought for a second you're going to bring up the one thing that I always think of when I read Spawn. It's like, yes, Spawn's great. I was really into this comic back when it was called Deathlock.
Oh God, no.
Nice.
No,
You
stay
know
away
what?
from that. Yeah, definitely read
Or
you know,
RoboCop.
Read,
Hand him
read
anything-
some of the more recent issues of Moon Knight, which are very ultra violent.
Hand him
cool,
anything,
good art.
anything drawn by Geoff Darrow
Yeah,
would be a
And
good
it's
way to
Jeff,
go.
by the way.
Jeff, is it just Jeff?
I really
Yeah.
gotta
Jeff
say
Darrow.
that Leon and Cyrus have done me a great favor of lending me their comics for Preacher.
Ah,
And
Preacher.
that is absolutely brilliant as far as extreme violence, but a great storyline to back it up.
That's your next step up. That is your high school project. If you really
Right.
want to graduate to college, give him some Transmetropolitan.
as Vivian from the Young Ones said,
yes.
this calls for a mixture of psychology and extreme violence.
Yeah,
No, I'm good. Thanks.
If you really want to graduate from high school and go to college, have him read a couple issues of Transmetropolitan and see how he digests
Well,
that.
I don't think he's
if he's
ready
reading
for
Spawn,
No, he's not.
He's not going to be ready for
No,
Transmetropolitan. for a long time.
Do not. Skipping him from that. Skipping him from Spawn to Transmetropolitan is like taking a kid out of 5th grade math and putting him into a advanced calculus class.
Yeah,
Do not
we're
do
looking
that.
at Charlie pre-Flowers for Algernon.
Flowers for Algernon, yeah.
Yeah, no. Where that being said, if you know one of those older guys who likes sort of carnage, but is also really, really fucking smart and likes crazy shit, likes reading Hunter Thompson, by all means, if you want to get him to comics, hand him an issue. Or
But I'm thinking from
Transmetropolitan.
Spawn, you got to go to Punisher, and then maybe you can work your way to Preacher. Look who just showed up now. What were you working on?
my
CP
God.
time, Greg? What's going on,
It's
man?
Sporty McSportnut back from his sport thing.
So how did your precious San Antonio Spurs do in the game? Did they win?
No, they lost.
Ah.
But it's okay. It was a free ticket that I got in the middle of the afternoon. What do you want from me? But I tell you one thing. Can I just do sports for 2 sentences?
Yes,
Not
you
on a Leog, you
Just-
can't.
No, just 2.
Two.
Dwayne Wade is a badass, and
One.
Michael Beasley is a beast.
Tell us more
No,
about
he's
this
right. I used to-
basketball.
I used to love Dwayne Wade on A Different World.
Yeah, right on. I love those glasses that he had.
Yeah,
Flipped
man.
up.
Is this like that comic from Boom called Blood Bowl? Is that like that at all?
No,
Okay.
Blood Bowl is actually interesting.
Oh, okay.
Man, just
Yeah.
Wait, wasn't
Slices.
Blood Bowl wasn't that game you could buy in Walmart that had like the goblins playing the
Okay, I don't know about the rest of you, but I've actually read Blood Bowl. It's kind of fucking fun.
Is it?
It is. It's like
Cool.
It's like a bunch of wizards and orcs and shit playing football.
Wow, you totally negated everything you said to start that sentence off.
Oh, it's cool. It's
sounds
fun.
like
It's
the-
crazy. It does not take itself seriously at all. It's good stuff.
Sounds
It's-
like that old Commodore 64 chess game with the. You remember what I'm talking about?
What is it? Shit, it starts with an A.
yeah, it starts with hey, Arcanum or something. where
yeah.
they-
Just, wait, just so I'm not wrong on what I'm thinking. Jason, repeat what you said again about Blood Bowl. What is it again?
It's about a bunch of wizards and orcs playing football.
Okay, I did hear that correctly. Never mind.
I mean, one of these things is not like the other. One of these things has billions of dollars attached to it. There's the NBA, and then there's Boom Studios' Blood Bowl.
It's wizards playing football.
It's a blast, and I would
like
actually
pointy hats and curly-toed shoes.
I
right?
would buy a Blood Bowl video game.
Dude, that's racist. John Constantine doesn't wear a pointy hat. Come on. Phantom Strange wears a fedora.
Now, it was recently...
You're succumbing to a stereotype of wizards, my friend.
No. It was recently pointed out to me by a wizard aficionado.
Are you talking about the NBA team or the...
the Washington team, Gilbert
I
Arenas?
was told that wizards...
they just get rained on a
the
lot and
difference
never
between
win
a
the
wizard
games.
and a sorcerer is that a wizard would wear a pointy hat, robes, and or possibly pointy shoes, where a sorcerer would wear the cool stuff. Like Dr. Orpheus would be a sorcerer.
That's true because he has the vampire medal.
I have the coolest clothes! But say Dumbledore or Orko are wizards.
That just turned into Queer Eye for the wizard guy there, man.
Yeah.
It's true. It's why Doctor Strange is so pimp because he's got the huge lapels
And the
coming
mustache.
out.
Doctor Strange's got the porno mustache.
And as we all know, all magicians wear tuxedos, unless they're female, in which case they wear fishnet stockings.
Yes.
Yes.
Which is so hot.
Zatanna, no.
I just changed my mind about hottest comic book character ever. Again, it's Zatanna. Thank you.
Well, what makes her hotter than the Black Canary?
Yeah, no.
Because she could make my penis bigger? I don't know.
Okay,
That's
quick.
magic there. I think that's a lot of magic.
Yeah, dude.
Penis grow bigger in reverse.
Yeah, she's only a magician, not a god.
Yeah. Okay, quick poll. Hottest comic book chick ever. Cyrus, go.
Oh, really? I've got to go? Shit,
Yeah.
why do I have to go first? I like being in charge where I get to answer last.
Oh, come on. Pick a comic book redhead. You're either going to say Poison Ivy
No.
or
Jean Grey.
Phoenix.
It's Jean Grey.
Okay.
As the Phoenix, mind you. She's just okay as Jean
Okay.
Grey. But when she's evil, dude.
Okay, Leon.
I've said this before, and it's going to shut the conversation down.
Oh, boy. Here we go.
She,
With her extensive comic book series.
and
Roseanne Barr.
he has no mic.
Yeah, he doesn't have a mic.
Yeah, thank God.
shit, Roseanne
Grant,
Barr.
Grant, stop it. Stop it. Yes, get the fuck out.
No, shush.
No, grab your shoes and go.
Be nice to Grant.
Okay.
As I've
Leon.
often said, Lois Lane has to be the hottest woman in comics because Superman, who could easily choose Wonder Woman, passes her over for Lois Lane.
No,
and the way
because
Lois Lane is always shown to be really sexy in a human way.
I don't think Lois Lane's sexy at all.
Oh, I think she's
Yeah.
extremely
I don't.
sexy.
I just
Yeah.
don't get it at all.
I'm with Cyrus.
I think that Superman is just the biggest pussy whip bitch in the world. That's all I think. I
Okay.
think it has nothing to do with that.
Okay,
picture.
barring-
Come on, he's a Boy Scout. He's an idiot. When it
Barring
comes down
Lois
to it.
Lane, and this appeals to me in like just the wrongest way. She's not even my type, and yet
Jimmy Olsen.
find her so extremely sexy. Harley Quinn.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I kind of see that. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, she is
Bo?
hot. Plus, you know she'll sleep with a Joker. She'll definitely put up
Yeah,
for
right.
You, so.
You know, I will say I do find Lois Lane attractive, but it's Kitty Pryde, bitches. I would fuck that shit
don't you
into
mean
the
Kitty
wall.
I'm sorry. It was Kitty Pryde came up to the scene when she was 13 years old, and it's hard for me to not think of her that way.
Yeah, Leon, and unlike you, I actually was 13 when I was reading the X-Men at that point, so it was okay for me.
Kitty Pryde is the smartest woman in comic books sexually. She's like, hey, I've got a man and a vibrator. in
And
one.
I don't care about any of you motherfuckers out there, but the smart chicks are the freaks in
Yeah.
bed.
Too
Yeah,
bad
dude.
Joss Whedon shot her off into the fucking ether.
I mean, but she's used
For
to
which
like
I probably will
a
never forget.
7-foot metal Russian. What are you gonna do to her after that? She'll be like,
Yeah.
"Is it in yet?"
Yeah, she'd be like,
Yeah, I'm
throwing
giving you
a
everything
hot
I
dog
got.
down
No.
the hallway.
I knew that.
Oh, well, you've never seen me without my clothes off, but I got a 7-foot metal Russian.
I don't. And you don't mean that Colossus action figure that's all above your bed?
He's sitting on his 7-inch metal Russian. It is firmly in his bowels at this point.
No, I mean the 7-inch metal-plated cock above your mom's bed.
And yet, it's still not your own. Jason.
And that was only from her victory slice. Her hunting trip in Africa.
I'm kind of the same school of thought as Cyrus, but I'm going to go with Mary
Mira.
Jane Watson.
Oh.
Mary Jane
Yeah.
Watson is hot, and
And she's single now.
yeah,
Yeah.
which she shouldn't be. Casada, are you listening?
Yeah.
Anyone? Who
And
feels-
she's a superhero because that's completely stupid.
She's not, actually.
No,
That
she's
was,
not
really-
Jackpot.
that was revealed recently.
Oh, they
yeah.
finally went.
Oh,
Oh,
what
it's
they
not
said
Mary Jane because we're stupid.
Yeah, no, they revealed who Jackpot was.
Okay, wait. Are you reading?
Dude,
Amazing
no.
Spider-Man?
Hey,
I'm not.
I am with him. Did not buy it. Flip through it in the store.
It doesn't matter. It's
Who is it? Some random bitch.
Who
that makes no
dies
sense.
at the end of the issue?
That makes no sense. They constantly
No.
I know.
referenced in the early
She was
days of
wearing a
it.
wig, too.
That
Yeah.
makes no sense.
No, exactly.
It's absolute madness.
It's like if you didn't believe us on why you shouldn't be reading Spider-Man anymore, this is your proof, right?
If you're going to read
Guggenheim-
Spider-Man, read Ultimate Spider-Man and fuck the
Mark
rest.
Guggenheim, Joe Quesada, I will fight you. I know Jason will fight you, but I will fight you too.
Yeah,
And I
so-
can't even fight, but I'll figure out how to fight just to fight.
So yeah, Mary Jane circa you've hit the jackpot, Tiger. I would do horrible things for just to drink her
oh
bathwater.
God! If I could, if there is a God, and just in case any of you out there in Spillend were wondering, there isn't. But if there was one, and I got up to him and he said, "All right, you can go back and live in whatever continuum weirdness you want," I'd be like, "Dude, John Romita era Spider-Man with Gwen
Yes.
Stacy and Mary Jane. Oh my God,
right on.
the hot twins
Yeah.
is like the dirty version of Betty and Veronica." Yes,
Yes.
yes.
When Jerry Conway was written, was writing, like he was in love. Peter was in love with Gwen Stacy, and Mary Jane was trying to get in there. And there are points that Mary Jane's almost insinuating a three-way. I'm reading it, going like, "What?"
Practically.
Okay. Yeah. So all of
Back when
you
Mary Jane was
need-
sleeping with all of his friends.
Yeah, pretty
yeah.
much.
All of you need to read Spider-Man X-Men #1, which came out this week.
Oh, is this week it came out?
Yeah, and it's I was telling Bo about it earlier.
Yes, and color me curious.
It is
sounds
totally
interesting.
set in the 70s. All of it's an early.
Do they have a key
original
party?
What's that?
Do they have a key party?
Not quite. It's an early X-Men, like the original X-Men meets Spider-Man, you know, and Beast and Angel and all that. But all of the decor, lava lamps, shag rugs,
Nice.
everything. And they fight Kraven. It is totally retro and totally steeped in that. It embraces it. It's great. It's a lot of fun. Yeah. So
Wow.
and it's got that hot ass free love era Gwen and MJ vibe.
So
going
there
on.
really are no like dark hair, raven haired Hispanic chick superheroes, are there?
You're the one who likes that stuff.
I
That's
do.
your thing.
That is my thing.
But they've got to be out there. I mean, come on.
You think there would be some? I'm trying to think of somebody.
Leogland, who are the hot Latino super?
Because I tell you, man, I was really into the Daughters of the Dragon, which was Misty Knight and
yeah.
Colleen Wing.
Dude, Misty Knight and Colleen Wing. Holy shit!
Yeah.
honestly, oh my God, we're out of time for Leon.
Damn it! You know what? We never got to the comic of the week, which was Captain
we
America.
should read the comic of the week. And
Well, no, we have to do it next.
Hey,
no,
you know what?
because I gotta say, Leon proposes the comic of the week. Captain America, Ultimate Captain America Annual 1, which was done by
Jeff
Jeff
well, that's
Loeb.
true. That's true. We
And I
can't-
gotta
we cannot
say-
drop the fact that Jeff Loeb was recently fired from Heroes.
Yeah.
That
Let's
is
take a
true.
moment. Woo!
Yeah.
Yes.
By the way, I feel the same way about you as George Bush. Fuck that guy.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I mean,
but
Heroes was a great show in the first season.
Yeah,
it tumbled some in the second.
It was a decent show. in the
It
first
was a
season
decent show.
that fell apart in the last 2 episodes.
And I am have always been of the opinion if they actually got some talented comic book writers to work with them, they may have made it into something amazing.
Next week,
But they went with Jeff Loeb. But I would like to say, Leon was proposing as the comic of this week, and we didn't get to talk about it. Was
Next
the ultimate?
Yeah. After
Captain America.
everything I've talked, we've talked about Jeff Loeb.
And I've got to say, I read it. I actually made a point of going down to Awesome Books today and reading it in the store. And I got to say, it's completely made me reevaluate Jeff Loeb. I think he's a really amazing writer. And,
He can be.
And oh, wait a minute. I'm completely fucking lying.
Oh,
No, I agree with
It's
Bo.
okay, and it plays to his strengths, which is he does retcon really well. And my 2 things that I've really loved with him are Spider-Man Blue and Daredevil Yellow, which were retcons, and he did them very well. He comes up with a new origin for the Black Panther in the Ultimate Universe, and I gotta say, it's pretty fucking tight. But that being said, fuck that guy.
Yeah, no, just terrible dialogue. Just throwing off stuff that doesn't even make any sense. It seems like they're references the way Bendis does them, but they don't really go anywhere.
And also, can we please come up with a power continuum for both the DC and the Marvel Universe as to who is allowed to kick whose asses?
Yeah.
Because the idea that the Black Panther would be keeping Captain America like busy for 3 hours, I'm sorry, but no.
Yeah,
It's just
would
like, I'm
never
sorry.
happen.
well, that's true. No fight lasts that
Yeah,
long.
and not only that, but Captain America is the Marvel amalgam of Batman.
But
And
you
it's
know
just
what-
like nobody in strict hand-to-hand, no superpower combat. It's like Captain America is the guy that goes like, all right, we'll fuck around for 15 minutes here, but okay,
Well,
that was fun.
I want to dive into this deeper next issue.
I would like to do Captain America in general next week.
Yes,
Yes.
because there's a lot on Captain America
I
I'd
would
love
like
to
do
talk
the
about.
movie that's possibly happening. I would like to do the series, which is surprisingly left wing for a
Yes.
Captain America thing.
Sure.
Wow.
Well,
it's
I mean-
left-wing.
as the way of the nation goes, so does Captain
My
America.
thing about Captain America is there's a lot of different heroes who've had their great runs.
Yeah.
But Captain America has had, you think of him as being a boring character, but he's had
Not at
4
all.
or 5 really good runs. And I'd like to, take some time to discuss all of those.
I would
So
say I'm
next
a big
week,
Cap fan.
Captain America.
So phrase your questions that way.
Yes, you know what? And I want to encourage the Spildos to send in their
Dildos.
Yeah.
That's
I love
good.
that.
That's what it is.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
think
yeah.
we've accepted
Great.
Yeah,
these
Spildos is my favorite.
Yeah,
you guys
they're-
overwhelmed me with the Spildos.
That is
Send in,
awesome.
send in your favorite Captain America moments.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because I know I've got mine.
Yeah, we
So,
all know
yeah.
what yours is.
and Cap,
You don't.
I know what yours is.
What is mine?
What do you think this letter of my head stands for? France?
No, that's not mine.
Well, that's mine.
That is not. That's
Anyway, Cap, we are pretty much looking at you to curate this episode. So,
hell yeah.
All right.
I am granting you special Leog permission to ask more than one question on our on our questions for Leog.
Wow, I don't know if that's a good idea.
No.
no.
I am not insane. You may ask 3 questions.
Whoa! 3?
Yes, thrice.
Oh my God! What
Thrice
you doing
full the permission of others.
3 shall be your questions of asking.
And 3 shall be our questions 3.
Hey, and you know what?
And your first can only be, what is your favorite color?
We love it. Send us emails. You know what? Tell your friends.
As long as your favorite color isn't Captain America white.
Yeah. By the way, as we always do, I've gotten yet again a couple of comments on my friends on my page on Spill, saying that like, dude, I'm so happy you got me into this, and you really got me through some hard times, and I'm just like, dude, whenever I read that stuff, I am completely, utterly amazed and floored. If I'm helping you out in any way, God help us all. But
Could I get a long live the league?
Yeah.
Yes.
Long live the
league. We love you guys. We pay definite attention to what you're saying. Please let us know on our FAQ
We read
pages.
everything you.
We read everything you read. Please go to our FAQ pages. Please go to our review pages. Please go to anything on the Liog Lounge. We love you all.
Plus,
and,
Bo is really hot and single.
True.
and I'm really drunk right now too. That's why I'm trying to convince you to go to
As
bed with
are
me.
we all.
All right, so this is the point where we got to sign off.
Yes.
Cyrus, when you want to take us out?
Sure. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for being a part of the League experience. This was League number 16. We'll be back in 2 weeks for League number 17 with Jason, Bo, Leon, and me, Cyrus, as well as our musical host, Greg, and who knows who the hell else.
Maybe even Grant.
Maybe even Grant.
Yeah,
That
if you
was
guys keep
Grant.
whining, maybe we'll bring back Allison.
And if there's more than one of you who want Allison back, then pester her.
Yeah.
We
I
want
know.
Allison back.
We want Allison back. But
I am
Allison.
tempted to put her email address up online.
guys, if you-
Just to fuck with
if you look inside the League Lounge, and by the way, if you listen to Leog, please join the League Lounge at this point so we can
Yes.
prove to them we're the most powerful force on Spill at this point. Make other people join the League Lounge so we can prove we're the most powerful force on
That
Spill.
we are a fully
League.
operational battle station.
We
Yes.
are. Yes.
Yes.
We are no moon. We are a space
Nice.
station.
Nice.
That's Snow Moon.
Yes. We'll be back in 2 weeks with our Captain America centric Leog. Thank you so much for being part of the experience.
Ooh, oh, for the next league, we all have to dress up in red, white, and blue.
Woo!
I'm okay with that. Let's
Even
do it.
Leon, who looks horrible in it.
Not anymore.
It's just the chainmail that chafes so much.
Okay, you can dress up as like, oh, I don't know, our next president. Our next president, bitches.
Red, white, and blue is the new black.